Hello, hello, hello. What's up tonight, everyone? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, how's it going, everyone? It's a Jackal, Seth, Mega Blaster, Masterfly, Whatapunt, Corey, Lee Salt, D-Many, of course. I saw Jay Zoller earlier, awesome dude. Shanner, Shank, Quillick, Silicon Defense. Welcome, everyone. Hello. Hey, Draken, welcome. Admiral Average. How's it going, everyone? Are you ready for some Philharmonica? Oh, this card is so ridiculous. I was completely shocked that this sorta actually worked. So I changed up the build a little bit. We'll talk about it. Yeah, Metallurgic Summoning price is pretty crazy. It's a Jackal. We're still waiting to hear back about being partnered. Hopefully it's soon. Oh, thank you, Admiral Average. I'm glad you like the decks. Apparently Panharmonicons went up a little in price, which is really weird. How would you change the deck if you want to be more competitive and not so janky? So this is actually a slightly less janky build, the build we're going to play tonight. Oh, really? Is LRR playing it? Oh, I'm going to have to... Are they actually playing it? Or are they just talking about it? I'm going to have to go back and watch the replay of their stream. It is a really fun deck to watch. So we'll talk about the deck. We'll talk about the changes. I'm still trying to get it exactly right. There's so many possibilities with Panharmonica. You have the dedication, awesome dude. Tracy King is in favor of a single Green Warden still. That's on my list, my debatable list. Well, let's get this stuff out of the way first. Well, we're going to play a competitive league, so we want to actually try to win. And it's still got Panharmonicon, so it's fairly janky. But a little less color-filled. Combustible Gearhulk is the main thing that's not around anymore. Anyway, let's go through some. Well, I'm excited. I'm gonna have to check the replay of their stream after we're done streaming, or at some point, because I'm excited to see someone else play it. So reminders, replay YouTube. Should subscribe to that. That's where you can find all the old streams. Our Metallurgic Summoning stream from Tuesday, this stream in the future. So that's important to note. Merch, tokens, I signed a bunch more tokens yesterday, shipped them out, so they should be back in stock definitely by the beginning of the week, if not before that. So we'll see. But more signed tokens are coming. We got playmats and all that stuff, so make sure to check that out if you want to support the stream and the site. And of course, our new announcement. Sponsor. We have a stream sponsor. You can see their logo over on the left-hand side. Wizardry Foundry has a special goldfish collection with some sweet deck boxes. The Grimoire Immortal. If you're looking to get a really cool high-end deck box, keep them in mind. And you can get 10% off with MTG Goldfish 1 coupon code. So, anyway. So we are 5-color Panharmonica. I called it I was originally mad. So this is what we got going on. This is going to look a lot like... This is a lot like the one we played in Against the Odds, but a little bit more... streamlined, a few less colors. So we still got the namesake card. Panharmonicon, artifact, doubles up our triggers. This is a card that everything is built around. And then we have a lot of the same stuff. Glintnest Crane finds Panharmonicon, finds a lot of artifacts. We got a lot of artifacts in the deck. Servant of Conduit fixes our colors. Mega Blaster, I'm not sure if they'll ever have like a goldfish like logo on a deck box. I'm not sure about that, but that's a cool idea. I'll have to check into that. Prophetic Prisms draws us a ton of cards. Also fixes our mana. The new, otherwise, the new stuff really is we got 3 Verdurous Gearhulks. They help us close out the game a lot quicker. We also have Eldritch Evolutions, which can help us tutor up our stuff. So we can Reflector Mage, bounce some stuff, Eldritch Evolution, get a Gearhulk, a Thragtusk, a Muldrifter. We don't have any 4s, which is a little weird with Eldritch Evolution. But we do have Panharmonicon in the 4-drop slot. I think I got matching prisms, don't I? Oh yeah. We got matching prisms this time. And then, sideboard-wise, this is where the red comes in. We don't have any red cards in the main deck. Oliver Fiss, well, hello from the US, and welcome to the stream. KM, thank you for the follow. So, sideboard-wise, basically, this, and this. So, if I separate the cards out this way, it's pretty straightforward. This is kind of our control package. Negates, Summary Dismissal, Avacyn to pressure at instant speed, and Quarantine Field to get Planeswalkers. This is a brew, I guess. It's not from an instant deck tech. It's similar to what we played on Against the Odds earlier. Welcome, Dimac. And then we have this for more aggressive matchups. Cataclysm Gearhulk is pretty much to tutor with Eldritch Evolution. Fumigate is a real wrath, some actual removals, Stasis Snare, and then Appetite for artifacts and enchantments. Bones Brigade. Brigade. Thank you for the follow. So this is what we got going on. So we're going to give this a shot in actual league. So this is what made me choose this for my first Against the Odds from the set. So initially, during spoiler season, I thought that Aetherflux Reservoir was probably the #1 Against the Odds card that I was going to build around first. But then people actually tried to play it, like at SCG Opens and stuff. So I decided I didn't want to do that first, and instead I would put it on the poll and we'd get to it eventually. And Panharmonicon's a card that I thought was really cool, but I figured it was too slow for standard, so I really wanted to try it out. So I built the deck and was just amazed by how good it was. So a lot of this stuff is from the new set. Panharmonicon is new set, Glintnest Crane, Aether Hubs, of course. Servant in the Conduit is from the new set. All the Gearhulks. Muldrifter, and Thragtusk. So a lot of cards from Kaladesh. Displacer and Drowner can definitely work. The biggest problem, so Displacer is really awesome. The difficulty is, if we're going to be this crazy 5-color deck, it's going to be very hard to have enough colorless sources to actually activate it. I really wanted to have Thought Knot Seer as a 4-drop, because we don't have 4-drops, and Thought Knot is insane, and I think it would be awesome in this deck, but it's just very challenging to be 5 colors and play colorless cards. That's essentially 6 colors, and we don't have Pain Lands. If we had Pain Lands, I would be all in going 6 colors for colorless cards. So, yeah. And Eerie Interlude is one of the cards that was cut. It was pretty much replaced by Eldritch Evolution. So we don't have the same looping capability to put up that huge finish, but Eldritch Evolution makes us a lot more consistent, and we're much less likely to get punished playing Eldritch Evolution than we were a little while ago, because people aren't playing Collected Company for Spell Quellers and so forth. So we're in a much better situation. Plus, Filigree Familiar is just absurd with Eldritch Evolution. We can play Filigree Familiar, then like on turn 4, sack it, draw a card, and get a Gearhulk, get a Cloud Blazer, draw some cards, Armorback Stomper to gain some life. So we're still not bad. We got our Noxious Gearhulks up here. Oh, you can't see them because they're behind the overlay. We have Noxious Gearhulks, so we're still black in the main deck, and then we still have red in the sideboard as well. Shouldn't we have a 4-drop? Probably. It is annoying that when we sack our 2-drops, we can't get a 4-drop. All right, well, before we jump in the league, let's look at that. I looked earlier, and apart from Thoughtseize, Thought-Knot Seer, I couldn't find any 4-drops that I really wanted, but maybe all of you will help me find a 4-drop and figure out a way to slot it into the deck before we jump into the league. A little team deck building exercise. So, creatures, standard, 4 converted mana cost. Let's see. Enter the battlefield triggers. Get rid of that. Inverter of Truth. No. Oh man, that would be painful. That would just kill you. That's a non-boo. We don't want to be doing that. We don't really have a reason to put cards in our graveyard. Identity Thief. I did have, actually, the card I did have for a 4-drop before for a while. Where is it? And I actually kind of liked it. It was... Oh, it's an X card. I had one Altered Ego, and Altered Ego was actually pretty sweet. It doesn't necessarily... It's interesting. The synergy with Eldritch Evolution isn't that awesome, but it's uncounterable, and it can be anything. So I did have one Altered Ego as I was testing it. I also had Thought-Knot Seer slotted in for a little while, but we just don't have the colorless mana, I don't think, to make it consistent. 5 colorless sources, that's not that many. I feel like it's going to get stuck in our hand. Maybe it's okay as a one-of. I really wanted more. You like the one-of Altered Ego? Alright, we'll make Altered Ego work. Cloud Blazer is mostly so we can get it off of our Eldritch Evolution. Why not cut a color? Well, what's the fun in that? Gonti's another good option. I'm a little nervous about double black on turn 4. Do I even have a Gonti? I don't know if I open one. I do not. I think we're going to go with Altered Ego because I don't really want to... So many people want to see Gonti. Do I really have to go trade for a Gonti? Oh, really? But you guys want to watch me and girls want to watch me go trade for a card? Let's just play it like this. I do have Thought-Knots. I guess Thought-Knots can be okay. Maybe one Thought-Knot is fine with just 5 colorless sources. Oh, Rashmi, good lord, the value. We're not going to rebuild the entire deck. We can't rebuild it. We might play 61 cards because I don't know what I'm going to cut. Oh, yeah, Gonti is sweet in Commander. Now I gotta cut something. We're not cutting black. Noxious Ghoul is sweet. Oh, I'm almost regretting asking for suggestions now. So many different ideas. Rashmi actually isn't that great. We got rid of the red Gearhulk. I guess we can go down one. I don't really want to cut Verdurous Gearhulk. I need Pilgrim's Eye, I think, for fixing. I guess if I'm going to cut something, we probably got to cut an evolution. I'll cut one evolution. Alright. Alright, one change just for you, one Thought-Knot. Let's do this. And honestly, I've been going back and forth on this deck for a while, so there's so many things that can potentially work. I don't think I can cut Familiar. Familiar is one of our cards that's actually good against control and good against aggro. So I really want the full 4 of those, because that's one of our... A lot of our cards are good in one situation or another, but that's one of the cards that's good in just about every situation. Rashmi wouldn't get 2 triggers, would it? Because it's when you cast it cascades, I think. Alright, let's try this in an actual competitive league and see how crazy this goes. Gonti, I don't have a Gonti. I would have tried a Gonti, I just don't have it. And I don't really want to have to go trading for cards on stream. Wisp Weaver could probably do some cool things. I'm interested in doing a Wisp Weaver combo deck. But, I don't really want to try to slot the Wisp Weaver combo into this deck. I think you should play this deck. It's not that expensive, and it's really fun, regardless of how good it actually turns out being after we play a whole bunch of decks with it. And really get a sense of where it fits. It's super fun to play. It is just amazingly fun. I had a ton of fun playing Metallurgic Summonings, and then I built this deck, and I think this deck is even more fun than Metallurgic Summonings. It is just so absurdly fun to play. It is really awesome. Fairgrounds Warden was a card I considered for the sideboard. Alright. I mean, we got all our mana. We got ways to cycle through our deck to find our... let me get this lined up better. We have ways to cycle through our deck to find our... Jareth, thank you for the follow. To find our Panharmonicon. Rashmi lets us play 2 creatures. That's true. That's kind of nice to get double triggers off creatures. I considered Ishkana. That was another card. There's so many cards that I've considered. This is a competitive league. There's not many players in the friendly leagues right now for Standard since they restarted them. So I'm a little nervous about doing a friendly league because I think it would take a really long time to get matches. What's our opponent doing? Oh, Lord. So this is either an Aetherworks Marvel deck or the all-in combo deck. Well, let's play a Sanctum and Glint Crane. Wow. Okay. We have options. I like all these cards, but Panharmonicon is what we came here to do, so we're going to put Prophetic Prism and 2 Gearhulks to the bottom to get a Panharmonicon. Drowner is solid. Thank you, everyone, for the follows. There's so many follows right now, I can't even really keep up. Let's get in with our Crane. Let's just... I want to be able to draw cards. Let's just play Island and Filigree Familiar here. I want to save Prophetic Prism for after we have Panharmonicon, because then it's like a 2-mana colorless divination, which is ridiculous. It's funny, but Prophetic Prism is actually one of the best cards in this deck. Alright, there's the Pummeler. We're going to want to block that. Oh. Alright, well, we got to take a turn off, unfortunately. And Reflector Mage is Pummeler, because it could just kill us out of nowhere. So that's one more turn without a Panharmonicon, but it's one more turn that we're alive, which I think is worthwhile. Ricardo, thank you for the follow. Will I play Commander Clash with new generals? Yes, the next Commander Clash episode features new generals. Wow, next turn is going to be very, very good. Assuming we live and all that. So we gotta live about 2 more turns, I think, is what the goal is here. We're worried about pump spells, mostly. Electrostatic Pummeler can do some crazy things with pump spells. Oh. Like, I think we might just die next turn. If our opponent can give this thing trample, then we're gonna die. They can pump it 3 times, which is so much more than lethal. Will we ever do live Commander Clash? That's definitely a possibility. So what I want to do is Panharmonicon, Prophetic Prism, draw 3. But then it's likely that we just die if I do that. I really think we just die to Electrostatic Pummeler. The other option is to just Prophetic Prism. I mean, we lose 1 card draw. That makes sense. Let's just Prophetic Prism first. We draw 1 less card. See if we hit a Reflector Mage. And then we can still just play Panharmonicon. I think that's fine. I did want to draw a 3 there, but come on, deck. We also could draw an Eldritch Evolution. Ooh, Thought Knot that we can't cast. Alright, so let's Glint Nest Crane. Gets a Prophetic Prism. Oh, there's all our stuff we needed. Glint Nest Crane. Whiffs. Play a Prairie Stream. So if they can pump this once, 5 power, 10 power, it's going to be like 40 power. No amount of blocking is going to save us. So let's just play a Servant of the Conduit. Get some energy. Pass the turn. Oh, good old Thought Knot without the colorless mana. Well, let's see if we live. If they can't give it trample, then we should be fine. Attune with Ether. Oh, they can pump this a lot of times. Plays a land, goes to combat. Attacks with both. Well, let's block that. And also block that. See what happens. There's Built to Smash, and we're dead. Oh, Pummeler. Alright. Well, we tried. We tried hard. Oh. Thought Knot actually would have been super good there if we could have cast it, but we can't cast it. So what can we play against this deck? I mean, Stasis Snare, Appetite gets rid of things. Harness Lightning doesn't necessarily do it. Yeah, we're going to really die there by a long ways. I don't know if Harness Lightning actually is worth it. Why still use Skype? Discord is so much better. We tried Discord actually at one point and had problems with echoing and so forth. The other thing is, what are we cutting? I guess we can get rid of that Thought Knot Seer. Eldritch Gearhulk. Natural State is a good answer to kill Pummeler, that's true. I got a feeling this isn't one of our better matchups. Evolution gets us Reflector Mages, though, which are actually somewhat reasonable, at least at buying us time. I guess we can go down to 2. I don't know if we live long enough for Fumigate. Maybe we do. Fumigate might just be too slow. Tracy King. You need to embrace Eldritch Evolution. Could you play Splendid Reclamation Retreat, put Splendid Reclamation Retreat deck on the Against Odds Bowl? Yeah. I think that we could get to that once we get through some Kaladesh stuff. Avacyn is for control decks. Needed a way to get them to tap out, and Avacyn's a pretty good way of doing that. We might go down to Familiar. And I think Fumigate's just too slow. Let's try it like that. I think Eldritch Evolution is really good in this deck, actually. And we weren't that far away. Like, this is just a pretty rough matchup. I don't know if this counts as a real matchup, but it is a pretty rough matchup. Well, we have Panharmonicons. Alright. We will see. I just got lucky this week, I guess, with having some sweet decks. Noxious is actually pretty good at killing our opponent's stuff. Let's Ether Hub and just Glint Nest Crane. Go digging for an artifact. Aye. I think we're taking Prophetic Prism over the Familiar here. Pass the turn. Yeah, Panharmonicon is not legendary. It gets really crazy once you get a bunch of them going. There's a Servant for our opponent. We get a Servant too. So, Servant of the Conduit. Canopy Vista. Get in for 1. See if our opponent has the Pummeler combo. This song is what? Quai Pentasina by Lost Sundayers? Alright, Bristling Hydra for our opponent. Also annoying. So that's Forest. And Panharmonicon. Pass the turn. Bristling Hydra is harder to combo off with since it doesn't get trample as easily. Attune with Ether. Yes, if you want to see a slightly different take on this deck, this week's Against Odds does feature a version of it. So let's do some jumping. Of course, there's Pummeler. Well, we are in troubles. Let's Prophetic Prism. Draw a couple cards. Now there's Reflector Mage. That's not bad. Well, let's... I think we just gotta bounce Pummeler. So, Ether Hub. Make some colored mana. This buys us 2 turns against Pummeler, which is nice. Reflector Mage, bounce Pummeler, bounce Servant. Oh dear. There's Blossoming Defense. Well, we might just be dead again. If our opponent just has all the combo pieces, there's not much we can do about it. Tap land. Opponent goes to combat. Yeah, Reflector Mage is awesome in this deck. Wow, our opponent is not attacking with Pummeler. So I think we just need to chump here. We can't really kill that thing. Well, what's our opponent have? They pass. Well, it's a good sign that we're not dead yet. Let's... Prophetic Prism. Draw a couple cards. There's an Evolution. And then Forest. Glintnest Crane finds us some artifacts. Ooh, Noxious Gearhulk is sweet for next turn if we live. And Filigree Familiar. Put the rest to the bottom. And we might as well run our Filigree Familiar out there. Go up to 24. So we're very not dead yet. Like, oh, we'd be doing so well. We'd be doing so well if, oh, Galvanic Bombardment. We draw a card. Another Familiar. Alright, opponent, what do you got? They only have 3 cards. There's the attack. Well, block Pummeler. See if we die. Of course. Our opponent apparently top decked the win. Well, that's fun. Alright. Oh, dear. Well, that was not what we wanted. I don't think it's fair to call that a punt. If our opponent had that combination of cards, why didn't they kill us the last turn? You know what I'm saying? They had the same amount. They had the same amount of energy. They had the Pummeler. I don't know. They just didn't attack with the Pummeler the turn before. I don't know. I just figured if they could kill us with Pummeler, they would have killed us the turn before. So we were better off waiting and trying to do something good instead of just bouncing it again. Is there potential for electrostatic Pummeler in Modern? I don't think so. I mean, it's fine for Standard, but in Standard, you can get away with playing a bunch of horrible cards that just produce energy. In Modern, if you're going to try to kill like that, you might as well just kill with Infect on turn 2 or turn 3. Pummeler is actually super slow for Modern. Alright, we'll keep this. Well, that was a disappointing start. Spam a lot, thank you for the follow. Let's just Shambling Vents, goo. Yeah, I mean, maybe it was correct to go for Reflector Mage there. I'm not saying that that anyone's wrong. It could have been correct, but I was just trying to explain my line of thought. My line of thought was they would have killed us the turn before if they could have, so we could probably fade one more turn and then actually do something really powerful. So that was what I was thinking there. This looks like probably the deck with the 11-11 or 10-10 Titan. I would assume that this is a fine matchup because Reflector Mage is pretty good against what our opponent's doing. Elder Deep Fiend can be somewhat annoying. Cultivator's Caravan for our opponent. Alright, well, we get a Panharmonicon. And that means next turn we get to start doing good things. And we're in pretty good shape. I think this feels like a decent matchup. I think this would be a great Friday Night Magic deck. It seems pretty sweet. Maybe they're just getting all Titans. Not really a merge, but I think it's the deck that has Metalwork Colossus and also Elder Deep Fiend. I'm pretty sure. I don't think it's a mirror. Yeah, Grixis Emerge was the wrong thing to say. But I think they have Elder Deep Fiends to go along with Metalwork Colossus. What's our opponent have? Metal Spinners Puzzle Knot. So they have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So here comes the free Colossuses. Good news is we get double Reflector Mage to return them to our opponent's hand. What? They're not even going to cast it? Oh, they... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Why would they not just cast the Colossus? Alright, so let's... Prophetic Prism. Draw a couple cards. Ooh. Oh, can you imagine double Noxious Ghoul on 2 Colossus? That has got to be the greatest thing I have ever even thought of. Okay. Well, we're just going to bounce the Colossus for now. I mean, we don't get full Reflector Mage value, but it's still fine. And this might push our opponent towards playing both Colossus. Oh. I so want them to play. I so want them to play. Yes, I always call it Noxious Ghoul. I still want them to play 2 Colossus. Colossuses. And, oh. A Sanctum of Ugin, too? Well, this Gearhulk is going to be good for us, I think. Hopefully. As long as they can't also Elder Deep Fiend us. If they can, like, Colossus, Elder Deep Fiend tap us out, then things could be sketchy. Because they can do that all in one turn. Colossuses. But we have a good setup for next turn. We get to double up our Glintnest Crane. And that's going to turn on our Inventor's Fair for the following turn, if we really want to. The normal Noxious Gearhulk art is pretty sweet. I do like it. Our opponent, trying to figure out what to do. Matter Reshaper. Fine. And what opponent? Kills our Reflector Mage. Also fine. They're just going to go attacking. Okay. Get in with Cultivator's Caravan. So they have two Colossus in hand. We know that. So let's lead on Glintnest Crane. Doubles up. What do we find? Prophetic Prism. Not a bad hit. Draws us some more cards. Number 2 gives us more Panharmonicon. Can we afford to just play Panharmonicon? I'm still worried about dying to them sacking this to get Elder Deep Fiend. Let's Prophetic Prism. See what we draw. I guess we're gonna wait on Panharmonicon. Draw 2. Gearhulk and Familiar. Alright, play a Swamp. Play Familiar. And pass the turn. Oh, I should change our record. We lost round 1 to that all-in combo deck. So we're hoping to Gearhulk. We're hoping to Gearhulk 2 of the Metalwork Colossuses this next turn. Can you imagine Panharmonicon and Collected Company? Whoa, yeah. I almost wanted to play Dubious Challenge. just because it seemed really funny. I don't think it would be good, but it would be really funny. You haven't missed too much yet, Troy. We lost round 1 really quickly to the all-in electrostatic pummeler combo deck. Basically standard infect. Alright, our opponent's going to crew up the Cultivator's Caravan. We are going to block with our Filigree Familiar to draw a card. Ooh, Eldritch Evolution! That means we might be able to do some crazy things. Wow, that means it's a creature too, so they can't play as many Colossus. Alright, Sky Sovereign. Sky Sovereign, little annoying. Gonna kill our Servant of the Conduit. Metalwork Colossus. At some point, they gotta go all in on Metalwork Colossus. 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 Alright, there. I guess this is the time. Well. So we get to gain a life. Reflector Mage. Wow, we could just Reflector Mage everything? 1, 2, 3. Let's think about this. So, play the Forest. So we can kill 2 Colossuses right now. We only killed 2. The other thing we could do would be play second Panharmonicon. Yeah, if you ever do !deck, you can find it. Well, we can just bounce them all. If you are ever playing Inventor's Fair, look at this on Moto. The sacrifice is on top, so if you just accidentally click that, you skip your turn and sacrifice a land to find an artifact, so be very aware if you play this. So let's just Panharmonicon Reflector Mage, I think is fine. Panharmonicon. And then Reflector Mage. Do the old triple bounce. Oh, the 3-mana Reflector Mage. Bounces all the Colossuses. Oh, next time we can kill 3 things with our Noxious Gearhulk. So that's what we're kind of setting up. We could also Eldritch Evolution for Thought-Knot Seer and just take all 3 Colossus. I don't really know which one is better. We can make Glitnest huge, not quite lethal. Let's see what our opponent does. They go attacking. Get in for 6. Alright, shoot down the Glint Nest. Fine. Plays a land. We know most of their hand is Gearhulks. What else do they have? Or Gearhulks. Whoa! Our opponent has Panharmonicon too? Okay. And passes. We gain a life. Well, I think we have a plan here. I think our plan is green, colorless, green, Eldritch Evolution, sacking Reflector Mage. And we are going to Muldrifter. Draw 6, gain 6. And then Ether Hub, gain an energy. And now I actually want our opponent to play the Gearhulks again so we can kill them all, and they're going to do that next turn. So what we're going to do here is just play the green Gearhulk and make the biggest Muldrifter of all time. So 4 counters. How about 4 more counters? How about 4 more counters? Alright. Good turn, good turn, good turn. 14 Cloud Blazer. Oh, we'll discard the forest. I would rather Noxious Gearhulk, because Noxious Gearhulk gains us so much life. So I'm just waiting for them to be like, oh, okay, Colossus, Colossus, Colossus. And we're like, oh, sweet, Noxious Gearhulk, Noxious Gearhulk, Noxious. Get all 3 of them. Oh. It's gonna be so good. Come on, you gotta do it, opponent. You got to. Don't give up. Just play your Colossuses for free. It's actually not that expensive if you do want to make it. Opponent decides to draw some. What? Come on, you wanna? I know you wanna play your 10-10s. This deck is really fun. It is so fun. I mean, I've had a decent record with it. I still have no idea if it's like good, but it is. It is so fun. I don't know if I've ever really had this much fun. Definitely the most fun I've had playing Standard in a while. Yeah, if they don't play their Colossuses this turn, I am going to get suspicious that they're watching. There's a Colossus, number 1. Number 2. Yes! Oh, here it comes! Here it comes! We added Thought Knot at the last second. People wanted me to add it. Okay, so let's tap this for colors. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Boom. Oh, opponent, I'm sorry. And they scoop it up. We are going to gain 30 life. 30 life. Oh, Lord. Well, that was fun. Oh, so this deck, what do we even want against this deck? I guess Appetite for the Unnatural is probably good. Quarantine Field's probably good. Cataclysmic Gearhulk is probably good. And I don't know about negates. Actually, they're 10-10s, I think, aren't they? But they have 11 converted mana cost. I think Eldritch Evolution is very good. I bring it out in counter matchups, but I think it's generally very good. Evison's fine. Why is Cataclysmic awful? It gets rid of all their random artifacts. We lost to the all-in Electrostatic Pummeler deck. I'm just trying out Eerie Interludes. Yeah, I guess we can go back down Stomper in this matchup. Stomper is more of an aggro type card. Reflector Mage is okay. Maybe go down our Pilgrim's Eye. And gotta cut one more. Yeah, Cataclysmic off of Eerie Interlude seems very strong in this matchup. Stasis Snare could also be good. It's a matter of what we can cut, though. If we're bringing in Cataclysmic Gearhulk, I don't really want to cut Eldritch Evolution. Yeah, no more Red Gearhulk. Red Gearhulk was a bit too janky. Thought Knot. Yeah, I guess we can go down Thought Knot. And I don't know if we want Stasis. Yeah, I guess it's... Let's go down one Reflector Mage. Their vehicles avoid Reflector Mage. Because we're bringing in Cataclysmic Gearhulk, and I think this is really good, I don't want to cut Eldritch Evolution, because I think Eldritch Evolution for Cataclysmic Gearhulk likely wins us the game. From playing with the Red Gearhulk earlier, I think that the Red Gearhulk is the worst of the Gearhulks in this deck. It was always just draw a bunch of cards, and we have a lot of ways to draw a bunch of cards, so it just wasn't all that essential. Okay, no card draw. but this is fine-ish. Reflector Mage means we're not going to just die instantly to those Colossus. I don't know. I don't know about this at the Pro Tour. Maybe? I guess it's not impossible. Now, our opponent also craning. We don't have enough colorless sources in this build, the girl. I think that you could build a really sweet deck with Eldrazi Displacer and Panharmonicon. But in our build, we just don't have the colorless mana for it, unfortunately. Ooh, Prophetic Prism. Alright, let's just Ether Hub, get an energy, run out a Servant. Pass the turn. Yeah, it doesn't hurt us that much, though. I've been pretty fine with getting hit by Cataclysmic Gearhulk in the matches where we actually play it. Opponent. Oh, does not have a land. That's good news for us. Let's Prophetic Prism. Draw a card. Ooh, there's our trump card if we ever need it. Play a Forest. Play a Servant of the Conduit. Pass the turn. So we just need more ways to cycle through our deck, basically. It would be awesome to find... Ooh, our opponent found the third land. That means they might get to start doing things. Foundry Inspector. Well, we're just going to Reflector Mage that. Swamp. Alright, let's... Actually, I'm tapping this very unnecessarily. We can add white here. Play Prairie Stream. Add blue. Green. Reflector Mage. Bounces Foundry Inspector. Slow our opponent down a bit. Go on beatdowns. Right now we're 0-1, but that was because we ran into a really bad matchup. Rosme, welcome. I'm glad you got a chance to catch us. We are flooding. Flooding, flooding, flooding. Well, Ether Hub. We lost to the Electrostatic Pummeler deck. That just, like, the turn 4 Infect kill deck. That deck is actually pretty crazy. I don't know how consistent it is, but it does some really crazy things. If we this has what, crew 3? Alright, so I guess we can go attacking. Opponent blocks. Pass the turn. Jeff Adams, thank you for the follow. Any good Edict creatures? The best creature that kills things is the Black Gearhulk, Noxious Gearhulk. So that's what we have for killing stuff. How many people are behind MTG Goldfish? So we have a few people that make content, like Tomer. Tom does Commander Clash with us. A few different various writers that do written content. Oh, welcome, Cornelius. Glad you made it. So yeah, a few writers and content producers like that. Then I'm the content manager. So I work full-time at Goldfish, and Richard is the founder/owner, and he does all the programming and back-end stuff, and he also does Goldfish full-time. Filgry Familiar. I don't really want to... I don't really want a Reflector Mage. I think we want to save... in case our opponent goes crazy with the Colossuses. Let's just play a Filgry Familiar. Gain a couple life. Play a swamp. Pass the turn. How do I get a job with you for Commander Content Assistant? Well, I don't know if we are, like, hiring a Commander Content Assistant, but you could email contact@mtggoldfish.com would probably be the best bet. Well, thank you, Oliver Fiss. What did our opponent do? Oh, Spatial Contortion kills one of our mana dorks. Yep. Gay Unicorn of Love, yeah. Richard does fun content. I don't know if he has time, though, or the desire to really do content all the time. At least at this point, I don't think he does. So we'll see. I mean, it's not impossible that it couldn't happen in the future. The list has changed a little bit. Got rid of some of the jankier stuff. The deck list overlay is a tool we have at MTG Goldfish. Our opponent, ooh, going wide. Passes. The stream will be up on replays, but probably tomorrow. Actually, the list is posted. That'll take you to the deck list. Hearthen, thank you for the follow. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Do we just have to Gearhulk right now? Our opponent's going to keep a Foundry and... I guess I could keep both of them. We can also sack the Familiar if we want to. We can keep, like, Servant. Yeah, alright. Let's do it. I think this is correct. 1, 2, 3, 4... Are we going to keep Servant? Keep Servant and Familiar? Yeah, this is fine. So, Cataclysmic Gearhulk. I think our mana is good enough that we can sack this Prism. So we'll keep Gearhulk as our creature, and or Gearhulk as our artifact. Alright, opponent crews up their Cultivator's Caravan. I don't know if that changes much. Unless they're trying to, like, keep it? I'm confused. I don't think we got to keep Prism here. I think we keep Gearhulk as our artifact and Servant as our creature. And then we get to draw a card off our Familiar as well. So, Cataclysmic Gearhulk actually came through pretty well here. Our opponent's going to go down to, I don't even know. 1 artifact, 1 creature. They could keep both Foundry Inspectors. I assume they got to sack Panharmonicon, which we haven't even found yet. Do I think a single copy of Tamiyo could be good in this deck? I think it could be. So we get to draw. Come on, Panharmonicon. Lumbering Falls. Wow! Well, that was a really good Gearhulk. Our opponent must have some card draw in hand. Some prisms. So I think we just want to... Actually, do we just bounce this? That's pretty greedy, right? I mean, I guess it makes our opponent spend their turn replaying it. Does that even help? We do have a lot of mana. Once we get going with Panharmonicon, we want all the mana we can get. So let's just play another Servant. play it off the Servant mana. And then Lumbering Falls. Yeah, they would have to wait a turn to replay it, I believe, but I think we can get more value out of Reflector Mage. Another Spawning Bed. Opponent only has 3 cards in hand. Panharmonicon is scary if they can start drawing cards with it. I have a similar deck with Eldritch Evolution, but I'm running Angel. Oh, yeah. Angels are sweet with Eldritch Evolution. Geez, our opponent has all the Panharmonicons and a Metalwork Colossus. Okay. Ooh, that's a Muldrifter. Well, let's cast Muldrifter. Draw some cards, gain some life, even though we don't have a... So if we Reflector Mage, they're going to crew the vehicle. Let's just Glint Nest here. See if we can find Panharmonicon. Ooh, well, Gearhulk is also good. We'll take Gearhulk. Even better with Panharmonicon, but play a Shambling Vent, pass the turn. Now we can put counters on our flyers and get in to win that way. The problem is, if we bounce Colossus, they're going to use it to crew Cultivator's Caravan, and then we don't really get in damage anyway. Is there any crazy lookups you do on Gather when building decks? Well, I have a pretty good knowledge of cards. Oh, really? Alright. Well, there goes all of our non-lands, which is a bit annoying. Okay. Ugh. Thought not. Well, let's see what our opponent does here. Gets in with Metalwork Colossus. I think we take the hit for now. Yeah, that was pretty good for our opponent. Oh, Lord, and there it is, too. Well, there's our Panharmonicon, so if we ever draw anything of relevance, and then things are going to go well. Let's get in with our flyers. Can't attack with our Gearhulk, unfortunately. And our opponent knows about the planes, so we might as well play it. Pass the turn. Oh, alright. Well, any enter the battlefield trigger should come pretty close to winning us the game now. Eldritch Evolution would also be so good. A Gearhulk would be amazing. Any enter the battlefield triggers. And we have a lot of them in our deck. We haven't used much good stuff yet, so I have a lot of faith that we should be able to draw something. Panharmonicon could be interesting in a Tron deck. What's my least favorite card? Maybe Become Immense. Ugh. I hate things that make Infect really good. And Become Immense is near the top of that list right now. So we pass. If you're having flickering, set the quality options up to source, and that should fix it. Ooh, Panharmonicon Breach. Squirrel, thanks for the follow. Hopefully our opponent doesn't draw anything crazy. I guess there's some chance that we can just win with... Oh, Sundering Titan would be insane. Deadlock Trap or Keys to the City. Key to the City would be very, very good with Colossus. That's true. We have red cards in the sideboard, so that's where the 5 color comes from. Let's just chump with a Servant. See what our opponent has. Tefri, thank you for the follow. Thank you, everyone. I'm sure I missed some follows as well. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What is this? Oh, Foundry Inspector? Okay. That's not too scary. Opponent passes. Well, Prism works. As long as our opponent can't counter it. Draws us 2. Hopefully that draws us... Ooh, Glint Nest! Alright, that's good. So now we get to Glint Nest Crane, which draws us some artifacts. Another Panharmonicon. That'll be good if we hit anything to go with it. Number 2, Eldritch Gearhulk. We'll take it. One, 2, 3, 4. It could show up at the Pro Tour. The Sheep, thank you for the follow. So we could just slam Eldritch Gearhulk. 8 counters, 8. Is that enough? Do we have lethal? 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, you're right. That is, if our opponent doesn't have removal, this would be exactly lethal. So, Eldritch Gearhulk. Cloud Blazer. Wait. 6, 8. Okay. Yeah, if they don't have removal, you're right. This is lethal. Might as well go for it. Spread some counters around. Swing for 11? Things just go from 0 to 60 so quickly with Panharmonicon. Oh, our opponent's last card was Elder Deep Fiend. Okay. Yeah, we're trying... We're trying Eldritch Evolution over Eerie Interlude. I don't think we're dead, though. Unless our opponent has something else to go with it. Because they can't tap down all of our creatures. They can tap down some and force us to chump. But that doesn't... This shouldn't lose us... How are we dead? I don't think this kills us. Taps down some of our stuff. We draw a land. Stuff tapped. No attacks. Play an Ether Hub. And pass the turn. I mean, if they draw like a second Deep Fiend off the top, they're out of cards, so they have nothing going on. Yeah, the cast triggers don't get doubled, only enter the battlefield. So we should be able to just chump, untap, and win. And our opponent scoops it up. Whoo! All right. Shoe Bomb, thank you for the follow. So that's how this deck wants to work. Apparently, apparently we just can't beat that Pummeler deck, but that was sweet. We were in a pretty dominant position throughout that entire game. ERJBH, thank you for the follow. Oh, this deck is so much fun. So much fun. Have I ever looked at Marlin of the Morning Song as commander? She screams combo to me. I haven't, but I probably will. What's up, Stitches? Did I consider Panharmonicon in Evolution? I did Budget Magic a month ago. Well, it wasn't released when I originally built it. So I couldn't have included it originally. I also did not include it in the update, but I think it could work. Match 1, we played the Electrostatic Pummeler combo deck and just died to infect type kills. Can you send me a Sphinx's tutelage to sign? Send me an email about it, Stitches. And we can set something up. So a reminder before we jump into the next match. We have a sponsor now, Wizards Foundry. So if you want a sweet deck box, you can get 10% off with the code MTGGoldfish1. They're really cool deck boxes, actually. Very high-end. So if you want a really nice high-end deck box, like the Grimoire Immortal, keep that in mind. So far, we're 1-1. Am I at the Pro Tour area? I am not. Pro Tour is in Hawaii. I'm in New York. We will be covering it, though, all weekend. So keep an eye out for that. We'll have articles breaking down everything that went on. We usually do the early deck list, kind of guess the deck list. Has the deck list been reviewed by the professor? That's a good question. I'll have to look into that. I'm not 100% sure. A standard deck I want to brew is Jun Good Stuff with a Sub-Delirium theme. Main deck 2 Inverter of Truths is finishers, restock library with nothing but fuel. That's spicy. I like it. So the Pro Tour is in Hawaii. I believe it starts at 3 p.m. my time, which is on the East Coast, or noon on the West Coast. If you're in another part of the world, I have no idea. I am not good with time zones. Although, at least it's not Australia. Good God. The Australia time zone was the worst. Covering the last Pro Tour, it literally started at like, I don't even know, 7 my time and went to like 5 in the morning. Oh, that was the worst time zone. Did I see your question, Full Metal? I did not. So post it again and I'll try to answer. Skabin, thank you for the follow. I'm from upstate New York in the middle of nowhere. Closest to, I guess, Ithaca? It was the closest actual city. Yes, it's sad to see the LSV isn't competing, but it's super exciting that he's going to be on coverage all weekend. Lucifer, thank you for the follow. Oh, 2 a.m. Well, I admire your dedication, Yorn, and hello from the U.S. How does it fare against aggro? I actually think aggro is some of our best matchups. We don't do, apparently, that well against the combo deck with Electrostatic Pummeler. But against just regular aggro decks, we just kind of outvalue them. It is gorgeous. Yes, LSV, that was the big news. LSV is semi-retired temporarily and doing coverage at all the Pro Tours and GPs. Full Metal, if I want to propose a new idea or a new video segment for MTG Goldfish and want to run, who would I contact and what process would I go through? Excuse me. Probably the easiest way to do it, Full Metal, would be to just send me an email, and then we can take it from there. If you want, you can CC contact at MTG Goldfish. That'll get to Richard. So, but Richard has the final say, but I do a lot of the legwork sometimes for stuff like that. So send me an email and we'll go from there. How do I think Eldrazi, Displacer, or Thought-Knot Seer fit in this deck? I think they could be awesome in a deck like this. The problem is getting the colorless mana. I think you'd want to be like 2 colors plus colorless or something like that, rather than 5 colors if you wanted to play colorless cards. Silent Mystic, thank you for the follow, and thank you everyone else. Do we have a consistent time that we are on Twitch each week? We stream Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. And then we stream Thursday nights at 6 Eastern. So those 2 times are essentially set in stone. Is this the Pummeler deck again? Please, no. Oh, not again. It might be. Servant of the Conduit. Let's just crane. See if we can find a Panharmonicon. Panharmonicon. Well, that's good. If this isn't the Pummeler deck, then I feel pretty good about where we're at. If it is a Pummeler deck, I have no clue. We just don't have room for acrobatic maneuvers. Another Ether Hub. This deck is a lot of fun. Well, there's Bristling Hydra. Hooray. Well, let's Plains and Panharmonicon. See if we die to getting comboed off. At least we haven't seen a pummeler yet. That's something. It's a lot harder to combo kill with Bristling Hydra. You can get the grindy value kill, but it's a lot more difficult to give Trample. There's relatively few cards that do it, and it's hard to pump it as much as Pummeler. The secret to beating Pummeler is not to die. Very true. Can I play Magic with you or friend you on MTGO? Annihilator, you can friend me on MTGO. I don't have a ton of free time for playing matches with people on Magic Online, but you're welcome to add me as a buddy or send me a message sometime and see. But I don't have a ton of time set aside for that. Another Hydra just keeps coming. Well, Swamp. Serve it to the Conduit. Get some energy. Filigree, Familiar. Gain us some life. Yes, the deck is much less scary without the combo kill element. The combo kill is what makes this deck scary. And it's a lot harder to do without a pummeler. Do I think Cataclysm Gearhulk is better suited as a sideboard card for this deck? I think so. That's where I have it now. We'll get to the 12-12, but I'm still a little worried about dying to double strike, so I want to try to leave up blockers if possible. There is a very aggressive combo deck. It's basically like Infect in Standard. Don't tell anyone, but there's a good chance that we see it on Budget Magic at some point. Alright, let's think about this. If we don't block this Hydra, do we die? Double Strike spell, 1, 2, 3 mana. Pump spell is +3, so it would be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think Pummeler will probably be higher than bulk price for a while. Oh, geez. I don't know what to do here. I don't feel like we win by blocking, but I think we have to. We can't lose if we block. Alright. I mean, I guess this is all we can really do. I don't think we can not block one at this point, because we could die to 2 cards. If they just have the double strike spell and something else, we're dead. Servant. We might get in a position where we're going to have to block one at some point, though. And we'll take Brawler. Opponent's going wide. Ugh. That is not what we were hoping for. Well, I was hoping we'd draw into like a Reflector Mage or something. So we make a 8-8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're dead to so much. I mean, I guess that's what we gotta do. I mean, it's huge, which is nice, but I expect that we're likely just dead. I mean, 5-mana 12-12 is sweet. We'll see. We could not be dead. Opponent quickly untaps. Taps a forest. Pro Tours tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. Well, it's starting to feel like this is just a bad matchup. There's the trample. There's... Really? So are we just dead to the jank kill? 6, 8. Let's see if they pay. So 3 plus 8 is 11, plus 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. All right. We're dead here, right? I mean, we're dead. We'll block, but we're dead to our opponent putting energy into Bristling Hydra. So once they start pumping, we scoop. All right. I don't think the deck needs to be less colors. We just need to not play this pummeler deck every round. Okay, so Stasis Snares, Appetite, Fumigate, maybe some Negates. Do I think Distended Mindbender is going to see more play at the Pro Tour? I think it's possible. I think that an Emerge style deck could be popular. Yeah, I feel like this deck has a lot of good matchups. It's just not really built to play against the Pummeler deck, and apparently the deck is becoming popular. The Pummeler deck was essentially nothing as of like a day ago. It had 0 results, like 1-5-0 in a league, but apparently it is catching on quickly. Eastern time, Pro Tour starts at 3, I believe, tomorrow in the afternoon. Rainy Flames is just so easy for them to pump their stuff. Yeah, Standard, in fact, is not especially fun. In fact, is just not a fun deck, so having it in Standard is kind of obnoxious. Probably have to go down Eldritch Evolutions. Go down our Thragtusk. Gaining a little bit of life isn't very likely to matter. Go down to Familiar and a Pilgrim's Eye. Try it like that. Yeah, there is that Fog. That would be a good sideboard card if this deck actually becomes really popular. I don't know if we can keep this. 2 lands. 1 is Inventor's Fair. So slow. Yikes. Alright. Well, we got some interesting stuff if we live for a while. Descend on the Fisherman could also be good. Oh, our mana. Not good here. The Fog is interesting. Long Tusk Cub for our opponent. Well, let's Swamp and Servant. Well, that's 1 white mana. We're getting closer. Closer to having enough white mana. White Source for Stasis Snare would be nice. 4 is for our opponent. And there's Pummeler. Goes attacking. Gets a couple energy. Down to 18. Up to 5 energy. Alright, Shambling Vents, go. So now we try to stay alive with Negate and then win with... we'll see. Our opponent can only pump it twice right now. Oh, I think they have the combo win in hand, too. Yeah, we probably will have to fumigate next turn. The only deck we lose to, apparently, is this silly electrostatic pummeler deck. Oh, this deck is super obnoxious. Attune with Ether. Ugh. Okay. That gets our opponent more energy, so they can pump twice now, which increases the odds of us being dead. Goes to combat. Alright. We're going to take it. See what happens. Built to smash. So that's puts it to 4 power, puts it to 8 power, puts it to 16 power. Alright, negate that. Alright. Well, I mean, what are you supposed to do about that? That's really unfortunate. That's not aggro. Aggro is one thing. That's a glass cannon combo deck. We have Radiant Flames, but I don't think Radiant Flames is actually that good. I don't think Radiant Flames is actually that good against that deck. I mean, we just had Negate there, and they won through Negate. The spell would have been the same thing. Pummeler could be the best deck in Standard. I guess we'll find out this weekend. Fragmentize doesn't... I mean, I guess it's okay. It's annoying that it's sorcery speed. Yeah, the problem with Flames is they can just pump their stuff out of its range very easily. Flames never gets the Bristling Hydra because they can just immediately pump it. I mean, we brought in the 2 Radiant Flames. In that situation, it would have been okay. I don't even think Blessed Alliance would have done it there because they attacked with 2 creatures. So they just sacked the worst one. Unsubstantiate could work. Does 5-color Panharmonicon beat Aetherworks Marvel? I think we have a decent shot against it. I don't think that deck's really that... I mean, it's fine. But we have a lot of negates, and that deck has a really hard time beating negates. There's a chance that this Pummeler deck is going to be heavily played. I mean, when you see a deck that's consistently killing on turn 4 or turn 5 in Standard through Disruption, I think that's a sign that something could be going on there. So I would not be surprised at all if this was a deck that we should see at the Pro Tour. Although, to be fair, I've heard a lot of people that are playing at the Pro Tour say, I don't know what I'm playing yet. And it's almost Pro Tour time. So, I mean, it's a scary combination of cards. They really push energy. They printed a Vines of the Vastwood. And they essentially printed what ends up being an infect creature. Yeah, I don't know why Wizards likes to do that so much. With things like infect and energy. Make it so no one can interact with it. It seems sort of silly, but... Alright, let's see if we scry into a land. Glint Nest is going to go to the bottom. So, Lumbering Falls, go. Update the record 1 and 2. So, pass the turn. The deck's good unless we're dying to Electrostatic Pummeler on turn 3 or turn 4. That's the only match that we've lost to, so. What do I think of the last budget deck? Is it actually Pro Tour level? The synergy is very strong. There's a chance that with some work and some more tuning, depending on the metagame, you never know. Gideon into Nissa is quite the clock. I agree with that. Well, it looks like we're not dying to Pummeler. That's ambitious. You're afraid that we're going to go beatdowns with our servant? Well, I do not know what we're up against now, but we're going to play Panharmonicon and see what happens. Is this like blue-red control? Blue-red control isn't something I've really seen people playing. I love the modern against the odds. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Fairgrounds Warden is interesting. I think it would be more of a sideboard. The problem is, like, yeah, you get to exile a bunch of cards, but then... let's Prophetic Prism. See if we can draw a land. Thought not that we can't cast. Pass the turn. Yeah, Eldritch Evolution is in addition to the deck. Well, let's try this again. Panharmonicon number 2. Alright, there's a Panharmonicon. Still have no idea what our opponent's trying to do here. Glimmer of Genius. Maybe this is just Is It Control? I have not seen anyone playing Is It Control. There's a good chance that we'll play the Pummeler deck. It's pretty cheap, and it is obnoxiously powerful, so... Alright, Ether Hub. And I think we're just going to slam a... is it worth it to use our mana? Do they have a counter? Alright, 1, 2, 3... Alright, yeah, let's just play a Gearhulk, I think. I think Gearhulk is fine. If they counter Gearhulk the next turn, they might not be able to counter Thought-Knot Seer. Woo, okay. So we will add some counters. Yeah, we'll just put them all on Gearhulk. So that's a 12/12 trample for 5 mana. A Blighted Cataract for our opponent. Now there's a land. So let's get in for 12 with our Gearhulk. See if our opponent does anything. Opponent takes 12. So let's... Thought Knot? Do you have the counter now, opponent? Ooh, double Thought Knot. Oh, they got nothing. Harness Lightning, down. Well, it looks like we're just going to win this one pretty quick. Alright, opponent. They get to sack their Bladed Cataract to draw a couple cards. We have a single Thought Knot in the main deck. We added it at the last second, so it's not on the deck list. The chat talked me into it. Alright, so this is a control deck. I haven't really seen this deck. Alright, so I assume if this is a control deck, we want all our counters, is what my guess would be. And then we just go down, like, Thragtusk, apparently go down. I don't know what this deck is. I guess Noxious Ghoul we can go down. Noxious Gearhulk, rather. Yes, maybe I'll move to Europe to not get yelled at for mispronouncing things. Go down Eldritch Evolution and probably bring in Avacyn? Maybe something like this. Rashmi doesn't do that much with in this deck, actually, because it triggers when things are cast. I guess it can help you get more creatures that might have triggers, but it doesn't actually do much on its own. Aye. Alright, I guess we get a mulligan. And we'll try this. Reflector Mage, definitely to the bottom. Reflector Mage, we possibly should have cut, actually. Prairie Stream, goo. Any news on sponsorship? Well, we have a sponsor. In Wizardry Foundry. Make some sweet deck boxes. So that's some news. So if you're looking for a deck box, MTG Goldfish 1, get you 10% off. As far as partnership, we're still waiting. We have not heard. Gave Birth, thank you for the follow. We have not heard back. It's been way longer than it usually is, so I don't know. There was like TwitchCon and all this stuff going on, so I'm assuming that Twitch has just been really busy, and that's why we haven't heard back yet. But hopefully soon. We applied like over 2 weeks ago, and they usually get back to you within 7 days, so. Island for our opponent. And Harness Lightning takes down our Servant. Yup. That's fine. Now, Forest and Pilgrim's Eye. Search out what? What do we still have in our deck? We probably just want an island, I think, for our all of our blue spells. Pass the turn. Yeah, I mean, I think we'll hopefully hear back from them soon. If not, maybe we'll have to do something different. Chandra, eh? Interesting. Wow! Chandra -3 kill Pilgrim's Eye. Sure, if that's your thing, go for it. Glint Nest gets us Prophetic Prism. Put some Glint Nest to the bottom. Island and a Servant of the Conduit. Yeah, if you're looking for a way to support, get some tokens or playmats. I just signed a bunch more. Yeah, that was a very aggressive use of Chandra. Opponent gets an Ether Hub. Can't cast it with Chandra. Gons, thank you for the follow. Deadlock Trap. Gets some energy. Okay. Ooh, geez. Well, I'd like to leave up the negate, but the time is now, I think, for this Gearhulk. Gearhulk. Pump up. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's just pump up our Glint Nest. Make it a 5/7, and we're just going to get rid of this Chandra. And I think once we untap with this negate, it's going to be hard to lose. 1 waste. Another Chandra. Sure. Guess we could have put a counter on our Gearhulk so it didn't die to Chandra, but all these Reflector Mages aren't looking too great. Opponent taps down our Crane. Well, let's kill Chandra. And I think we're just running a Reflector Mage out there for no value. Doesn't seem like our opponent has many creatures. There's Bladed Cataract. Alright, go to combat. See what our opponent has. How about Gonti? Yeah, I think Gonti was a good option. A lot of people, when we added Thought Knot right before the stream, a lot of people wanted Gonti. I didn't have any Gontis in my collection, though. So we went with Thought Knot instead, but I think it's possible. Opponent takes their beats. And I'll just play another Servant. Opponent's almost out of energy, then we get to start beating down with Glint Nest. Osprey, thank you for the follow. No Displacer, it's so hard with colorless mana. So, Blighted Cataract, sacked. Aether Hub for our opponent. Gets an energy. Lets them keep fueling their Deadlock Trap for a minute. Another land. Well, let's go to combat. Taps our Crane. Are we really just going to beat down with 2/2s? It's not that the deck's doing worse, D-Many. It's just that we're playing that Electrostatic Pummeler deck every time. That's the only thing we've lost to. Well, we easily won our other non-Pummeler round, and things are looking pretty solid for this round. So apparently we just can't beat the Pummeler deck, which it might just be really good. It is super obnoxious. Jackbite, thank you for the follow. Yeah, this does look kind of like Bad Company. We haven't drawn a lot of our cool stuff. Ugh. Alright, go to combat. Well, I think we're just going to win with the slowest. Our opponent probably has a handful of counters that aren't doing anything. So we're just going to win by beating down with 2/2s. Opponent blocking with the Fumarole. Opponent blocks. Wow, they're trading off Fumaroles. Sure. Let's play a Familiar. There's a counter. Sure. Play a Swamp, pass the turn. So our opponent needs energy or needs something or they're just dead. Well, thank you, Zach MTG. I don't know if it's that simple, Walks with Shadows. Maybe. It also has Blossoming Defense, which can fizzle a removal spell. And it really only needs a turn to win. Now let's keep attacking. There's Wandering Fumarole. Is their opponent going to trade? Trades it off again. We've worked through a lot of Wandering Fumaroles. Play the Aether Hub. Pass the turn. We once again have our opponent dead if they don't get energy. And, alright, so back to 2-2. Alright, on to round 5. This league, I don't know about this league. I wish we weren't playing Pummeler all the time. Apparently we're going to have to find a way to beat Pummeler. Are Much Brew playmats a possibility? I'm sure it's a possibility. I haven't heard plans for that yet, but I think that it could happen. Also, like Budget Magic or something. There's definitely different playmats that could come out. What do you think of Natural State as a sideboard card to deal with Electrostatic? Seems like a decent sideboard card. Yeah, I'm on board with the Fog and the sideboard plan. I mean, we don't have them in the stack because I think I was underestimating just how popular that deck is at the moment, and apparently it's really popular. I thought it was just like semi-popular. We have a name. We have an article on the site explaining it, but with the new tokens came the new name. The new name of the goldfish, Scoops. Scoops the goldfish. Oh, geez. I don't know what the new fog's called. It's 2 mana. But I don't remember the name of it. Is Ceremonious Rejection good versus Pummeler? Well, it's good versus Pummeler. The question is it worth it to bring it in against that deck because it only hits Pummeler? Not sure about that. Probably not. Because Pummeler's like the only artifact in that deck. Commencement with Festivities. That sounds about right. What are we up against this time? Oh, this has gotta be a Graveyard Emerge type deck. I got a crazy fun idea for a budget Magic playmat. Should be Scoop slamming down a coin and $2 at LGS to have on the counter. I like it. That's a good idea. Alright, so our opponent mills Kozilek's Return and Ether Theorist. Yup. Well, we have a loaded hand if we just get this Panharmonicon down. Let's just Canopy Vista, pass the turn. Could Teamer Summonings be Tier 1? It probably depends on the metagame, but I think that it could be possible. Whoa. What is happening? Wood Reaver's Puzzle Knot. Maybe I have no clue what's happening anymore. There's a land, though. That's good. So let's play Swamp, play our Familiar, go up to 22, and pass the turn. This is a Marvel's deck? Alright. With Contingency Plans? Who plays Contingency Plans? Attune with Ether. There's an island. And a Glint Nest. What does our opponent find? Anything? Whiffs. Alright. Well, hopefully their last card is not Marvel. That would be annoying. So, island, and get our Panharmonica out there. Isn't Vessel better? Vessel puts a card in your hand. Wouldn't you rather have a Vessel? That seems very odd. We're 2-2. Alright, another Puzzle Knot, that's fine. Well, because we get to start doing things this turn. Double up our Glint Nest Crane. First order of business. What's up, Buzzworm? Or Wormin? Do I think they will print some anti-energy tech in Ether Revolt? Something like a 3-mana blue sorcery that lets you steal energy? Maybe? Although it's a little scary that they kind of set the precedent with Infact of like, you can't mess with it. So I think it's possible, but I also think that it's just as possible they don't want people to be able to mess with energy. I think they'll do something new with energy. I'm just not 100% sure what it'll be. Let's just draw some more cards with Prism. Whew. Oh. Alright. We have a Muldrifter for next turn. Double Muldrifter, in fact. So, alright, opponent. You better Emrakul us soon. Because if you don't, we are just going to value you out of the game. They get another Wood Reaver Puzzle Knot. So they've gained a lot of life. That's true. So, I mean, maybe there'll be some limited way to deal with it. We could just kill Man, I want to draw cards. I think probably smartest just to kill our opponent's cranes, gain some life, and be able to start beating down. So Gearhulk, kill Glint Nest. Yeah, we're testing out Eldritch Evolution in place of Eerie Interlude mostly. This deck is really sweet. Not good against Pummeler, apparently, but it is super fun and super cool. So put our opponent down to 26, pass the turn. Next turn we can Muldrifter if we want to. Another Glint Nest for our opponent. Our best draw might be... Wow, our opponent whiffed? Their Glint Nests are not very good. That's why you need Panharmonicon to double it up. Okay, let's just swing with everything. Play our Muldrifter. Draw a bunch of cards. Panharmonicon, Gearhulk, and Hissing Quagmire. Play Hissing Quagmire. Pass the turn. Let's discard... Jeez, what do we even discard? I guess a Reflector Mage and a Familiar? LOL, thank you for the follow. Opponent passes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess we can just go for the win. It would have been fun to play another Panharmonicon, but it's probably smartest just to do this. Play a Gearhulk. And I think what we want to do, put 2 counters there, put 2 counters there. And then put 1 counter there, and 2 counters there, 2 counters there. Alright. So this gets us, so our creatures are going to be out of the range of a flashback Kozilek's return. Can I scroll down the deck list on the side? Can't see the last few lands. Yeah, just look at the whole deck list. It actually isn't scrollable. Hope Medical, thank you for the follow. If I did this properly, a lot of our stuff should be out of Kozilek return range. Yeah. So now, even if our opponent Kozilek's return off of some Eldrazi or something, it's not going to wrath our board. Opponent chumps our 5/7 Crane with their 1/3 Crane. Pass the turn. Yeah. I honestly didn't realize that deck was so popular. Knowing that it's popular, I will definitely be sideboarding for it now. Because I feel like we kind of beat up on a lot of other decks. But that deck is apparently just a really horrible matchup. Well, the trick against these decks is just to counter their Aetherworks Marvel. Do I think this is an improvement over the Against the Odds version? Sort of. I think they're pretty close, but I think this version is slightly better because it loses a couple of the cards that were just very cute and fun. Like Combustible Gearhulk is a good example. It's a card that is really flashy, and when we draw 9 cards, it's awesome, and we keep blinking it with Eerie Interlude, it's awesome. But if our goal is to be super competitive, or as competitive as we can be, I don't think that really has a place in the deck. So I think it's kind of the addition by subtraction thing. So what we're doing is very similar, except we lose a couple of the cards that were just going really deep. I feel like Esper Panharmonicon would be the best. Esper seems good. I mean, in my opinion, you got to be blue because you really need Glint Nest Crane. I have found that Verdurous Gearhulk is the best payoff and the best way to close games out quickly. So we can generate a ton of advantage, but we also need to be able to kill our opponent. And Verdurous Gearhulk does that very well. I think we go back down Stomper here. What else can we go down? Probably go down to Eldritch Evolutions. Eldritch Evolution, if you think there's a decent chance of it getting countered, probably best just to side it out. It's not really worth the risk. Actually, Reflector Mage can bounce an Eldrazi, and they can't recast it, so I don't think we want to go down all of them, because it's actually pretty good against an Eldrazi that comes down. Actually, I don't want to go down any of them. I have a completely different Panharmonicon deck that I think you'd find interesting. Ooh. I'm always interested in Panharmonicon decks. Yeah, remind me after this league and we'll see. Maybe we can do a match. Memory of Mercury. Thank you for the follow. And thank you everyone else. Honestly, thanks to all of you being so awesome. The stream is growing. We have a ton of people watching. And it's getting a lot harder to actually call out every single follow. So if I missed your follow, it's not that I love you any less than anyone else. I love all of you equally. Except Stu. I love him slightly less. I don't think he's here tonight, so I can say that. But it's getting harder to call everyone out just because the stream is getting big, which is amazing. We got negates, but we don't have lands. Hopefully the sub button is coming. We're still waiting to hear back. Inventor, ooh. I kind of like Inventor's Fair with this hand. Inventor's Fair is a one-of to help us find our Panharmonicon. And with double Prophetic Prism, it actually seems reasonable. And as a colorless land that lets us cast this Thought Knot, which also seems pretty reasonable. I know Stu is slacking off. Scared, thank you for the follow. Lucky Marty. There's a Glint Nest. Glass Blower's Puzzle Knot for our opponent. Puzzle Knot.deck. Wow. All the prisms. I wouldn't mind drawing into a negate to get rid of a Marvel. Alright, Ether Hub, go. Did Stu make it to the Pro Tour? I don't know if he did or not. I don't think so. Yeah, we added a single Thought Knot right at the last minute. How long will I be streaming? So this is actually the last match of our league. But we'll probably do another match or two of something. So probably between another half hour to an hour we'll be streaming tonight. Yeah, Eerie Interlude is pretty spicy. Come on, deck, give us a negate. Ugh, Glint Nest Crane. Well, let's just Ether Hub and Prophetic Prism. The Thought Knot seems reasonable. It's just a one-of. The main challenge is we don't have that much colorless mana. I think it could be very good in a less color-filled build of the deck. Whew, alright. That was not a card that kills us, so that's good. That also means that they don't have Marvel in their hand. They put both to the bottom. Glint Nest Crane. Well, hopefully they just hit a Marvel with this Glint Nest Crane and then we can Thought Knot it. Please? Maybe? Another Puzzle Knot. Well, we're probably going to have to Thought Knot anyway this turn, I believe. Have the chat make a deck to play on Tuesday. We were talking about doing that sometime for a special stream. Maybe that'll be the time. Yeah, let's Inventor's Fair. And I think we're going to wait on Thought Knot. Let's Prophetic Prism. Still try to draw a negate. This gives us 3 artifacts for Inventor's Fair. Ooh, there's Panharmonica. So, Glint Nest. Oh, there goes our negate and all of our Glint Nest cranes. But now we have plenty of Panharmonicons. Pass the turn. Well, they still don't have enough energy, if that's what they're waiting on. Against odds idea, mono red burn with no lightning bolt effects. Ooh. Good pants. Every match and maybe even every game we've lost. I don't know if we've lost a game in other matches. Has been to electrostatic pummeler. Yes. Okay. Well. Good news, bad news situation. Do they scry to the bottom or the top? Put a card on top, bottom. So I think we just need to Glint Nest Crane here. Have I played a red-white vehicles deck with this? I believe yes, and we beat it. Aggro actually isn't that scary to me with this deck. But the combo-y Pummeler deck is very scary. Oh, really? What? I'll have to watch the split second. I didn't realize he made it. Alright, well, this isn't what we wanted to negate, but I think we better negate this. Then get out of hand pretty quickly. That's probably what they left on top of their deck. Let's see what we draw. We gain a life thanks to our Inventor's Fair. Land. Alright, let's be greedy. Let's just Panharmonicon. That's what we came here to do. We might just die to our opponent drawing a Marvel, but that's okay, because if we don't die, then we get to Cloud Blaze and Gearhulk and just win the game. Karnfather, I don't know. Uh-oh, they drew it. Oh, they drew another Nissa? Ah, that's fine. We can kill Nissa. Opponent untaps a forest. Gets in for 5. Now we might have to... Oh, we can't actually kill Nissa. So our opponent's going to ultimate Nissa if they want. But whatever. It's not that scary. Let's see what we draw. Prism. Man, how greedy can we be? Can we play another Panharmonicon? Probably not. Let's just go with our Muldrifter. Draw 4, gain 4. Seems pretty reasonable. We'll probably play a game of something after the league. I'm not exactly sure what, though. Looks like we'll have enough time, though, to play an extra game or two. Might play another game with this deck or something. I'm not sure. Someone mentioned they had a Panharmonicon deck they wanted to play, so that's a possibility. But we'll figure it out. Gonna go down the Lumbering Falls. I don't really want more tap lands now. Well, here it comes. Etherworks Marvel. What does our opponent get? The best with this deck is when they go through all this work, Etherworks Marvel, then play like a puzzle knot. Oh, makes me so happy to see people fizzle. Tune with the... Oh, good run-in opponent. Oh, the old Etherworks Marvel for a tune with Ether. Oh, it doesn't get any worse than that. Opponent is gonna keep beating down with the lands. We don't really care. We can take it. The 5-color mana base is sort of challenging, but I think it worked out all right. I think this is slightly better than the Against Odds version, but it's fairly close. So we keep gaining life. Ooh, Summary Dismissal's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want to just get down another Panharmonicon. Yeah, that's fine. Let's just Panharmonicon. Number 2. And pass. Now let's Filigree Familiar. Whatever. What's the worst thing that can happen to us? We die to an Eldrazi. Whatever. Filigree Familiar gains a 6 life. Oh, a lot of cards are worth less in foil online. I don't think we're listening to hip hop. I think we're listening to a remix by Weisiger. Yes, it was greedy, but sometimes you gotta be greedy. Would I mind taking a look at your brew of Splendid Dredge? Thinking of taking it to a PPTQ this weekend. Yeah, tweet it at me or send me an email or something and I can try to look at it. Probably can't look right this second in the middle of the stream, though. So has the price of this deck significantly increased since the stream started? I hope not. The music is pretty quiet. Keep it down in the background, just as filler. Alright, opponent comboing off. Next turn's going to be a sweet turn, though. I mean, even if they Emrakul us, do they even win? I don't think so. Ulamog exile our Panharmonicons would be depressing. Alright, what do they get this time? Spin the wheel on Aetherworks. Ulamog, what are you targeting? Not Panharmonicon, please. Oh, you... Alright, now we gotta kill our opponent. They did it to themselves. If they left our Panharmonicons, I would have just kept getting sweet value from Enter the Battlefield triggers. Now, they left us no choice. Sorry, opponent. Untaps with Nissa. We gain a life. Ether Hub. I don't think we can actually kill them yet, though, because we need to Stasis Snare. We need to Stasis Snare the Ulamog first. So, Stasis Snare. Get rid of Ulamog. And pass the turn. This lets us leave up the ability to search for Panharmonicon. Also the ability to Submarine Dismissal if our opponent actually gets to cast something sweet. Alright, sacks the Puzzle Knot, so they're going to have their energy again. So we just let it go, see what they happen to hit. Hey, Good Pants! Thank you for the host. Yeah, Blossoming Defense is really played in Standard. Actually quite a bit. Alright, let's do some summary dismissing. Get rid of that Emrakul. Opponent plays a land. Returns a Glassblower's Puzzle Knot. Sure. Oh. I wanted to play more Panharmonicons. Alright, how much mana? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's Thought Knot. Get rid of Emrakul, number 2. Play Filigree Familiar. This is game 2. Send everything at Nissa. Opponent blocks. Opponent blocks. Pass the turn. What do we have left? We get our Muldrifter. Did we take out Eldritch Evolutions? I think we did. So our opponent back up to 5 energy. Is this going to be enough? Alright, Stitches. I will get to it after the stream at some point. Alright, Servant gets our opponent even more energy. Aetherworks Marvel. Come on, attune with Ether. Ugh, another Ulamog. We're gonna need something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Even Reflector Mage would be decent. Our opponent's basically out of action. All they have left is another Aetherworks Marvel. Takes up the land. We are gonna chump with our Filigree Familiar to try to draw something. Come on, Filigree Familiar. Servant, aye. Well, we gain a life. Land. So, Prophetic Prism, number 4. Filigree Familiar. Well, 1, 2. Yikes. We might actually be dying here. One, 2, 3. Well, let's just play a Servant of the Conduit. Gain some energy. Canopy Vista. Pass the turn. So we can search up an artifact. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, let's see how many Reflector Mages get exiled. That's the big question. Attune with Ether. More energy for our opponent. They don't have enough energy, though, for Aetherworks. We're going to get to draw a card off of our Filigree Familiar. They can... Alright, they make a land a 5/5. Go to combat. Opponent attacks with both. So let's sack this before our library gets exiled. Take a look at what we got in here. Three Reflector Mages. Noxious Ghoul. The problem is we're just going to die to our library being exiled. I guess we take Panharmonicon, though. Yeah, let's take Panharmonicon. I mean, basically, we need a Reflector Mage. This turn. Are they all exiled? None? Okay. Well, we have 11 cards left, and all of our Reflector Mages are among them. Well, we can still Reflector Mage it, though. We get a draw here with our Familiar. Come on, planes. Well, can we draw it? No. Alright. Did I miss one in there? Oh, yeah, there's one. Well, then. That's what I get for being greedy. Well, I mean, you play Panharmonicon to do big and crazy things. Not necessarily to win. But yes, if I had played more competitively, we would have just left up the counter there and we would have won. Alright, we get to play first. Let's get a good hand. It's been a minute since we haven't had a mulligan. So we play first. Oh, no. Ooh, alright. This is pretty solid. We got a negate. We got Panharmonicons like crazy. And we get to draw with our Prism. So this is fine. Yes, we got to win this one to get our treasure chest so we can get some standard legal commons and uncommons. Sanctum for our opponent. And passes. Let's just planes and Prophetic Prism. Draws us a card. Well, we got our mana now for Panharmonicon. Forest for our opponent. And Servant of the Conduit. Ether Hub. Go. Pass the turn. That's true. We could get 10 play points as well. Another Servant of the Conduit. Okay. We got to kind of play this slow because if they just play a Marvel, we're in trouble. Ooh, Stasis Snare is helpful. So, Forest, go. See what our opponent does. There's a land. Attacks with 1. Puts us down to 18. And passes. Well, let's Canopy Vista. Filigree Familiar. Gain some life. Put up a roadblock so our opponent can't keep attacking. Pass the turn. Leave up our negate. We gotta leave up our negate. Contingency plans. I think it's still worth playing leagues, yeah. There's just a ton of variance. That's the part that's annoying. There's a lot of variance involved in leagues now. Our opponent mills 4 of the 5. And passes. Well, let's get down a Panharmonicon. Pass the turn. Even if our opponent gets a Marvel down, they won't have the energy, so that's good. I guess it's to set up their combos. So I feel like we're in pretty good shape now with double negate and Stasis Snare. All we really want now is like Prophetic Prisms and things to start drawing. Cycling through our deck. We do get to start gaining life here, which is fine. Something good. Island. Do we dare play another Panharmonicon? Probably not. Let's just pass. We might actually just sack Inventor's Fair here to get a Prophetic Prism. What's up, Poor? Or Pog? Harino? We can't kill their dorks. I kind of want to leave up double negate. So, negate Aetherworks Marvel. Opponent dispels. And then negate Aetherworks Marvel. See? Double negate! I told ya. We gotta have that double negate. Let's draw something this turn. Come on, deck. Ether Hub. Well, Ether Hub. Get an energy. Play a second Panharmonicon. Pass the turn. I was right for once! I always err on the side of leaving up more counters than I need to. Oh god. That's another Marvel. They don't have the energy yet. Ooh. This is actually really interesting. So, if we block, our opponent gets the energy. We have Stasis Snare, though. Well, they're going to have the energy next turn anyway. Because of this Puzzle Knot. We have Stasis Snare anyway. So, we get to draw a card if we do it this way. They use all their energy. If they hit something good, we Stasis Snare it. I think it's fine. So we get to draw. Servant of the Conduit, not exciting. Opponent gets their energy. Here it comes. What do they get? Emrakul, the Promised End. Not too scary at the moment. So, Emrakul comes down. We Stasis Snare. Get rid of the Emrakul. So, like, the worst thing our opponent can do is probably sack our Inventor's Fair. So let's see what our opponent can do with our turn. We gain a life. Ooh, Reflector Mage. And now they don't have the energy at the moment. They have 0 energy. This gets them 2-3. So they're kind of far away from having enough energy to do anything. Wow, and they're not going to sack our Inventor's Fair. Okay. Well, we are definitely still in this game. That'll get our opponent 2 more energy. And our opponent's going to pass. Let's see what we draw. Inventor's Fair, triggers. Servant. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sack Inventor's Fair. Get a Prophetic Prism. Play for Prophetic Prism. Draw 3. Lumbering Falls, Noxious Gearhulk, and Swamp. Let's get in with Reflector Mage. Play a Swamp. Play our Servant of the Conduit. Pass the turn. Wow, Givens. 2,000 hours? Well, thank you. Yeah, we will try to figure something out with the bots. There's got to be something we can do about that. It's a new problem. So our opponent gets some energy, does some scrying. I don't think they can get enough energy this turn, though. They're at 3. And passes. Whoa! Does this do it? Oh, this is going to be so close, but I think it just barely does not. Eldritch Gearhulk. Counters. 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 That was a good draw. Hit our opponent for 16. Play Servant. Gain an infinite amount of energy. Lumbering Falls. Pass the turn. Alright, opponent. What do you got? We got the old triple Eldritch Gearhulk. And that does it! Yes! You know what that means? Standard, legal, common, and uncommon. Our 2 losses were both the Electrostatic Pummeler deck, and they weren't super close. That's a pretty bad matchup. We need more stuff in the sideboard or something. That's a bad matchup. I don't really do the Facebook thing, so email or Twitter. Yeah, so our only losses were Electrostatic Pummeler. We lost both times to that. We kind of cruised past everything else. I don't think we would have lost a game if I played right in the last one. Ang, let me open this treasure chest, and then we'll close out with me playing a match against your version of Panharmonicon. Alright, let's see. Come on, Worth. Foil Liliana. Foil Liliana this time. One time. Please. These are the new payouts for leagues. So, let's see. Yeah, the deck is right here. And there's also a deck list if you're interested. So let's open this up. Open one of these. Come on, Worth. Come on. What do we get? Silent Skimmer. And Tajuru Beastmaster. Double int. And a Raging Ravine. How much is Raging Ravine worth? Raging Ravine. World Wake. Current value 3? Okay, 3 ticks. So basically, Raging Ravine is about equivalent of getting a booster. So that's not bad. So considering that we wouldn't have gotten anything extra under the old system, we actually came out ahead with the treasure chest system in this one. Because under the old system, we just get 120 play points. So we essentially got this free treasure chest, and it actually had some value in it. I mean, it's not insane, but I'm happy with this. So we kind of came out ahead. Unfortunately, this could have been so much better. I wish we didn't play that Pummeler deck. So let me see. I'm going to do this right now while I'm thinking of it. I don't remember who it was, but you should challenge me to that match, whoever it was. And then I need to change this first though. Panharmonicon. So this is a different version of Panharmonica that someone is gonna challenge us to a match with. So we get to see a different style. See how it compares to ours. I know there's a fog. What filters do I have on? Oh, converter mana costs 4. Okay. So, yeah, I think my immediate idea for fighting against Electrostatic Pummeler is going to be to add Commencement of Festivities into the sideboard. I don't know over what. Maybe we go down... Well, let's see. So I think we want, like, at least a couple of those. Maybe go down 1 Negate. And maybe, the Fumigate? Maybe something like that. So I think this is step 1 towards... I don't think Blessed Alliance does it, though. Because Blessed Alliance, they just attack with 2 creatures and sack the non-pummeler creature. So I kind of like this idea. It could also be a good idea for the Temur Summonings deck. What other options are there? I guess this is super janky, but it works. Really expensive, though. Encircling Fissure. To try to beat Electrostatic Pummeler. The thing is, when they go all in on Pummeler, they just empty their hand and spend all their energy. And this doesn't get hit by Blossoming Defense. So, just cast this and win the game, essentially. They have Blossoming Defense as part of the problem. I guess Repel the Abominable works as well. Prevent all damage that would be dealt by non-creatures. Or non-human creatures. So either one of those. But I think I'm moving a couple of Fogs in the sideboard for that matchup. Alright, I guess someone waiting here. So this is one of our viewers. And they have their own take on Panharmonicon. So tonight, instead of closing out the stream with Momir, we get to see a brand new version of Panharmonicon. Panharmonicon Mirror. This should be pretty intense, a pretty awesome way to close down the stream. I'm excited for it. So the league went really well. I'm pretty happy with how it went, but we just couldn't beat that one deck. And without changing our sideboard or doing something, I don't expect that we would often beat that deck. We don't play enough interaction in the main deck. So the way we beat other aggro decks is we just can clog things up so well. Reflector Mage is great. We gain a bunch of life, but that deck deals so much damage through blockers that it just doesn't really work for us. Okay, alright. So maybe I should play Blessed Alliance. I'm open to the idea that Blessed Alliance is the right call there. Maybe I will have to test it. The Electrostatic Pummeler combo deck. All in, like, standard infect, essentially. So we finished the league 3-2. And opened a Raging Ravine in our treasure chest. But both losses were to that same deck. Oh, alright. Alright, Gliz. Is Gliz going to beat us at our own game? Oh, okay. I think this is an infinite combo build of the deck. I'm pretty sure. And we have a lot of Reflector Mages. This is not an infinite combo build of the deck. Isn't it? Alright. Servant of the Conduit. Gets us some energy. Oh, thanks, Ewan McCartney. Select for inspection. It still loses to Blossoming Defense, which is part of the problem. And I think this looked worse than it is because let's say the Pummeler deck is a tier 1 deck. Pummeler ends up being a tier 1 deck. That means we'll probably run into it 8% of the time, once out of every 12 matches, somewhere in that neighborhood. So it's a little silly, unless it becomes like a Bant Company deck where it's 50% of the metagame or something. Then it probably is a little silly to warp our sideboard too far. And having a bad matchup doesn't make a bad deck. Like, it's, if you think about it, the way tournaments work, you're looking at like a lot of rounds. You're looking at tons and tons of rounds. So you can definitely top 8 tournaments and win tournaments if you have one bad matchup with a tier 2 deck. And even a tier 1 deck in some cases. So that's a good point that maybe it's just not worth fighting over. At least going really deep on. If we can play cards that are still flexible. And we'll know a ton more after the Pro Tour. So that'll be a big thing. If the Pummeler deck is huge at the Pro Tour, then maybe we'll need to make some changes. So let's wait and see what happens. The Pummeler deck, it's gonna... I'm very confident we will see it shortly on Budget Magic, so keep that in mind. But it's basically an energy combo deck that can deal a ton of damage. 50 plus damage on turn 4, fairly consistently. Alright, we finally got a land. So Pilgrim's Eye. This song is Bicycle Tropics by Constellation. Awesome, dude. What do we need? White, blue, black. A double black. I guess we just get another forest for our Verdurous Gearhulk. Pass the turn. Have I played either of the zombie decks? Not since Kaladesh came out. I played them in the last standard. Have not played them since Kaladesh has come out. Oh, the music is very quiet. You think the Pro Tour... So, what are your Pro Tour predictions? I'm curious. I could see the Pummeler deck being good. I also think the Graveyard decks will be good. I think there'll be a really good Graveyard, maybe Emerge Graveyard, like the Grixis Emerge deck. I could see that happening. Dazzling Reflection is the weird prevent damage, gain life. You gain life equal to target creature's power. Next time it deals damage, prevent it. That's pretty funny. Although, still has the targeting problem. Still gets blown out by Blossoming Defense. Alright. Let's Panharmonicon. See if our opponent counters this. Our opponent's deck hasn't done much of anything. It seems like people are pretty down on... Ooh, Torrential Gearhulk. Okay. It seems like people are pretty down on Chandra. Whatever Travis Wu plays. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what Wu plays. Wu is a really good brewer. It'll be interesting to see if he goes brew or if he plays a known deck. I've seen a lot of people up in the air about this one. A lot of pro players about whether or not what deck they're going to play. They don't even know yet. So I will be interested to see how it turns out. If I consider Blessed Alliance, people have been talking me into it over the course of this stream. So I think, ooh, our opponent has Panharmonica. Whirler Virtuoso. So this isn't an infinite combo. They get a bunch of energy. I guess they're... Well, they get to make a lot of Thopters. Yeah, this is an infinite combo. I thought you said it wasn't an infinite combo. Alright, alright, alright. Well... Okay, so based on what we saw, I think we want negates. Quarantine fields, appetite. Yeah, that was pretty sweet. That was that was an infinite combo. So I guess our life gain stuff is not exciting. A Noxious Gearhulk probably isn't gonna get it done. Blessed Alliance, Tracy King, what's that? What? New card? The problem with Radiant Flames, well, yeah, I guess they have to untap. They don't have haste, so Radiant Flames does work. I guess Harness Lightning also sort of works. Fumigate also works. Reflector Mage, yeah, doesn't seem very good. And we probably go down Eldritch Evolutions since they're going to get countered and we're going to get blown out. Let's sort by converted mana cost. That's true. Fumigate would be pretty sweet. Oh, the reverse blowout. We'll go on the Pilgrim's Eye and a Familiar. Well, yeah, that's fine, I think, ish. But I mean, they make a bunch of, but they have to untap to attack with them, right? I mean, they make a whole bunch of, if they had haste, then that would be a problem. They would just, like, do it and kill us immediately, like Kiki Chord in Modern. But I think they have to untap, and then we Radiant Flames, and even if they make a ton of them, I mean, the problem is... Oh, okay. So there's another piece to the combo that lets it win at instant speed. I see. Well, we're still going to bring in Radiant Flames, because I think it's better than our other options. But it's good to be aware that they might have a way to win at instant speed. Bushwhacker would be good. If there is that artifact thing, whenever an artifact enters the battlefield, deals the damage, that would make it pretty easily. Alright, we get to play first, which is good. We got a negate, which is also good. I'm happy with this. Let's just get this tap land out of our hand. Prairie Stream, you. So they got to have 2 modules to pull it off, and also a Panharmonicon. Send an email with Splendid Dread list. Yeah, I will. I can't look at it during the stream, but I will try to look at it at some point and get back to you. Well, there's our Radiant Flames. Let's just Prophetic Prism. Draws us a card. Ooh, Panharmonicon. Is MTG bot giving us troubles? I don't know if I know how to close it. Good night, awesome dude. Thanks for hanging out. Pro Tour this weekend. We'll be back Tuesday with another stream. So, pass the turn. Oh, they do have it. All right, there's Reckless Fireweaver. So that's the combo piece that lets them win at instant speed. They just deal damage and they don't need to attack. So because of that, let's just kill that, because that's kind of scary. So Harness Lightning that thing. Play an Ether Hub, pass the turn. I don't know. They may be watching the stream. I know they were watching the stream earlier. Metallurgic Summonings, I think, will hopefully come back down. It's... I changed the sideboard some before we played the stream on Tuesday, but I haven't had time to really work much more on it since then. I've been working on other stuff. Well, I like where we're at now with a Panharmonicon coming down. Where do you watch the Pro Tour? So Pro Tour is on twitch.tv/magic, the official Wizards of the Coast stream. With, yeah, I don't know. I guess once we get a bunch of viewers, then bots come out or something. I always wondered that about you, Tracy King. Ooh, Fumigate. Well, we have all our answers, but not much else. Let's Servant. Get some energy. / all the same to me. I guess it's / but twitch.tv magic. Also on the Wizards YouTube, so you should find it. They'll have links to it all over the home page, the mothership. Will I upload this version of the list on the site? Yeah, it already is, actually. You can follow that link right there, and it should do everything you need. So I definitely recommend playing around this deck because it's super fun. I think it's relatively good, and it's amazing in some matchups. I feel like I haven't played quite enough matches to know for sure how good it is, but it's definitely worth playing because it's sweet. Oh man, modules all around. Okay, so that makes creatures infinitely big. Whoa! Alright. Well, that was a good draw. I mean, it doesn't keep us from dying to a combo, but it does gain us a bunch of life, draw us a bunch of cards. There's a forest. Pass the turn. Yeah, the infinite combo deck is pretty glass cannon-y, but it's sweet. Oh man, our opponent modules everywhere. Yeah, the Teamer Summoning deck is pretty sweet. I don't know, I don't think anyone's played it to any huge results yet, but it is pretty sweet. Alright, what do we got? Servant. Well, let's get in with our Cloud Blazer. And I think we just try to kill this thing before something horrible happens. So Harness Lightning, step 1. So we won't die at instant speed, and then we can play Filigree Familiar, gain some life. Oh, awesome, Mox Bagel! Congrats! I always love to hear about people doing well with our decks. Any chances of revisiting Hedron alignment? I guess it's possible. Not near the top of my to-do list, though, but it could happen. Oh, there's Panharmonicon. Our opponent's slowly putting their pieces together. But we're getting pretty close to killing them. One, two, three, four. We could search up an artifact. Probably not worth it. Well, yeah, let's just attack with everything. I don't think Gearhulk is quite lethal. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We would have put our opponent to 2. So I think we can just pass and search up another Panharmonicon and then triple Gearhulk. So greedy, but we gotta do it. Yeah, I really want to try Triskaidekaphobia again without pain lands. Alright. Well, let's let our opponent do their thing. So you get to make this thing huge. Alright, we gain a life. Yeah, I think we have to fumigate. Yeah, this thing will kill us. So, fumigate. Alright, we're still alive. That's good news. Man, that's gonna be 1 2 3 4 5. Alright, let's glint nest. We wouldn't have been able to do it anyway. Whiff. We could have searched for it, but we wouldn't have been able to cast it, so it probably wasn't worth searching for there. And we have all of them anyway, almost. We have 3 of them. So, pass the turn. It does not work with Stasis Snare because it's only creatures and artifacts, but you would be able to exile multiple creatures with Fairgrounds Warden. Those creatures would all come back after it died, of course. Glint Nest Crane for our opponent. So they're going to go digging for an artifact. Gets a Torrential Gearhulk. Can flashback Glimmer of Genius. Gets another Panharmonicon. And makes the Glint Nest big. Well, 1 2 3 4. I guess we just Verdurous Gearhulk. Put a bunch of counters on our Glint Nest. Oh, really? Harness Lightning? That's disappointing. Play a Sanctum, pass the turn. Well, we're getting out-janked on this one. This deck is very glass cannon-y, though. I wouldn't want to play this build against the wider meta because you're playing a lot of cards that don't do very much. That's one of the things I like about the 5-color or Panharmonicon deck is it plays a lot of good cards. Well, 1 2 3 4 Panharmonicon. 1 2 3 4 Panharmonicon. Lumbering Falls, pass the turn. Our opponent has a Torrential Gearhulk, so we can't really attack there. There's Torrential Gearhulk. Gonna do some things. we're going to need to draw something here for this to really matter. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't even think we have enough mana for our Gearhulk if we have to sack Inventor's Fair. So we're really hoping to draw like a Prophetic Prism probably. The deck is really sweet. Infinite combos are sweet. You just need so many tools. I could definitely see playing something like that on Against the Odds. Our opponent's Crane is pretty big. We should have attacked for 2 that one turn. Fair enough. Well, down to 10. Let's see if we draw anything. Another Panharmonicon. And a Metalwork Colossus. What does Select for Inspection really do for us, though? I mean, it could be okay. Bring to Light's pretty sweet, too. If only we had 13 colors. Actually, 15 now. Alright, come on, let's actually draw something. Like an island. Well, the problem with this is, well, twofold. First, we took out all of our good stuff that deals with creatures. So what options do we have? I think we're just dead, essentially. I mean, we can get a Prophetic Prism. Should this deck run Eldrazi Displacer Brood Monitor combo? Probably not this build. You could do a build that played it, but this build, I don't think it works. Wow. All right, that was a pretty bad draw for 2 mana. All right. Well, good game, good game. So, infinite combo version. So, what do we learn tonight? We're not prepared to play against the infinite combo version of Panharmonicon. And we need more sideboard cards to beat Electrostatic Pummeler. Those are the 2 big takeaways of the night. I don't think we're going to be able to do Momir tonight, Tracy King, unfortunately. Yeah, ask Gliz. Good game, Gliz. People want your list, so shoot it to them if you have the time. So, anyway, don't forget the replay channel. You can look back and watch this entire stream or any of our old streams. And, of course, we have a sponsor now, Wizardry Foundry. Make some sweet deck boxes, so check them out. 10% off with the MTG Goldfish 1 coupon code, like the Grimoire Immortal, for example. And if you want tokens, t-shirts, playmats, check out the site. Anyway, everything's going to be about the Pro Tour this weekend. That's most of the stuff coming out on the site. So if you get the time, check out the Pro Tour. Kaladesh Standard is awesome. I'm really excited to see what comes up. If any of these cool, janky strategies are good enough for the Pro Tour stage. So I'm really excited. So if you get the time, watch some Pro Tour this weekend. I think it starts at 3 Eastern throughout the entire weekend starting tomorrow. So anyway, everyone, have a wonderful night. You've been awesome. Thank you so much for watching. And check out the site over the weekend. And I will see you on Tuesday for our next stream. So I'll talk to you soon.